Hello there. Today I want to share an interesting anecdote from Sagard. He describes how when men went to war, they would adorn themselves quite heavily with necklaces of wampum, sometimes a great many of these. This seems like slightly eccentric behavior in war, but it had a practical function besides simply showing off. If a battle started to go poorly, it was expected that the losing side would flee. The other side would then pursue to try and tackle the stragglers, beat them to a paste, and take them prisoner. If, however, a fleeing man recognized that he was being closely pursued, he would take those necklaces that he was wearing and he would cut them so that the beads fell behind him. The pursuers would quite often stop to pick up the beads, giving their quarry time to escape. Sagard claims that a great many warriors have escaped capture because of this tactic. I think this anecdote is very interesting, and I want to talk about some of the stuff that's going on here. So, why might this tactic work? Well, to begin with, there is the obvious. Somebody gets overwhelmed in the heat of the moment. Oh, there's an opportunity. I'm going to grab it. They aren't necessarily making a deliberate decision. It's just a spur-of-the-moment thing. Now, you could say, why don't you continue on, grab the guy, and then come back and pick up the beads? Well, maybe it's a tragedy of the commons type situation. There's a couple of other guys following close behind you to back you up when you tackle them, but maybe they're going to stop and grab the beads, and then you won't get any. And maybe because they've stopped to pick up the beads, by the time you tackle them, they're going to be too far away to give you any backup. Oh, I don't really like this situation. Maybe I'd better stop and pick up those beads. On a similar note, let's say that there was nobody behind you to get the beads before you, or let's say that everybody carried on with you. What's likely to happen when you actually catch up to the guy? Well, he's probably not going to want to be taken prisoner. There's a good chance he's going to fight back, and he's got a knife. Even if you got him outnumbered, he still represents a threat. There's a decent chance of coming away from this injured. If you stop to pick up the beads, that's a guaranteed reward with no risk. Even setting aside greed and the tragedy of the commons, it's kind of in your best interest to stop and pick them up. Maybe, given all of this, there's another way we should think about it. Maybe this should be thought of not as an escape tactic, but as a preemptive ransom payment. Right, like the pursued guy is like, okay, we both know which way this is going. At this rate, you're going to catch me, you're going to beat me to a paste, take me prisoner, extort my family, then eventually release me. Okay, whatever. Well, that sounds like a hassle for both of us. I got stuff to do. I bet you got stuff to do as well. So let's just speed things up. You take the necklace, I'll get away, and it's like the whole thing just happened in fast forward. Regardless of the explanation, people must have expected this tactic to work pretty reliably because if not, you're gambling with that which your family will need to ransom you back. You're way more screwed than if you just left the beads at home. Anyway, I just find this a really fascinating anecdote because you can really imagine what would I do, what would I think if I were in either of these situations. I hope you found it interesting as well. Thank you.